Ohayo, my name is Mimitoku and welcome to the Talos Principle Road to Gehenna Part 13. Now last time we solved a trivia puzzle and we got to test the boundaries a little bit of this world. Because I just wanted to see if I can get over to that island or to that, but no, we can't. So instead of testing the boundaries, we will just solve the Pendulum Puzzle. Okay, there's a star! Okay, another star. Second of 4. Okay, it's one of those. Do we actually... Ah, okay. So we need to go there and... Okay. I think I get it now. This will open then. And maybe we can get around to get the star then. Just maybe. So... What do we need to do here then? Well, there's more of these cubes. Where's the laser source actually? Not here? At least those are mines. Okay. Did I come? No. Wait, this thing has a back entrance? Really? Okay. Nice to know. Nice to know. So how... I just thought I jumped into this thing. Okay, those two are synchronized. And we need this thing to open so we can take the jammer inside and get to that thing there. Good. Okay, basic plan established. But is there another connector? Is there another connector? I guess I can get the laser beam here, right? But I can't get it around there and there's no other box. So I guess we need to get this box on top of this one. And get this laser beam going for the time being. Nope. Come on. Can't I? Well, I can jump up, but there we go. Okay, this does this and stays always inside. Good. But is it visible the whole time though? Can I? I want to connect to that one too, please. Thanks. So... Okay, that's too short for sure. So let's just freeze. Ah. We needed to do that. Well, that was fairly simple. So, who do we get to rescue? Rockwell. Hi, Rockwell. Enjoy your freedom. Bye. Why are you waiting? Do you guys always wait for people to bump into you before you start moving? Okay, and then here's the other thing. This will always stay open, good. But for the other thing, we probably... I don't know if that's gonna work, but... let's try. Nope. That's just too short. So can we bring anything else in here? Ow, 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 ow. No, 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 no. Don't reset me, please. Somehow, I have the strong feeling that we need to bring something in here in order to get the star. Well, star puzzles are always really hard, and in most cases you need to bring something else into the puzzle. Some outside laser source or whatever. So we don't have this yet. So all we can do is being astonished by how Rockwell did his interior design, I guess, and also reading the news. Show threads. Is there anything new? Submissions still open. I don't know about you guys, but all this craziness recently makes me want to write more than ever. Just a reminder that provided your status is high enough, you can still submit original works for review. And I, for one, will be still reading, even if you've never made anything before. In fact, especially if you haven't, now's the time. Don't forget Lilith and Mr. Mulciber developed a tutorial to help. Load tutorial. What's this tutorial about? Welcome to the story creation tool. Since this is your first project, this tutorial will help guide you through the process. According to ISBN 10, is this a legit book? All stories begin with characters of one kind or another. Therefore, to finish a story, you simply need to understand your characters, and the plot will proceed logically from there. This season's theme is Bildungsroman. Okay, educational... what do you call that in English? Educational story? It's not a fictional story or anything. So, let's begin. Are you sitting comfortably? Then let's begin. Close your eyes. Okay. Sitting comfortably. Check. You see before you a human of remarkable qualities. Is it a boy, a girl, or someone else? I see someone else. Good. A character's sex helps determine the sorts of challenges and opportunities they may encounter in your story, as well as how other characters will perceive them. Now, imagine your character is a little older or experiencing real triumph for the first time. What are you doing? I picked someone else. I thought like about a bird or a kitten or something like that. A dog maybe. But okay then. Okay. What do we have here? Demonstrating startling physical prowess. Succeeding in an intellectual challenge. Something these ancient ideas failed to capture. Everything better than everyone else all the time. No, see, that's not interesting. That's not interesting if they do everything better than everyone else all the time. Intellectual challenge or physical prowess or something. Let's go with the abstract ideas. Something these ancient ideas failed to capture. Understood. Your character's natural aptitude is determined by the sum of their genetic and experiential influences. What sort of an upbringing did your character have? Wealthy and nurturing, wealthy but uncaring, poor but nurturing, poor and uncaring. I don't know. Well, if you've seen Life is Strange, the first or the second one, doesn't matter, you've certainly heard of the character Nathan Prescott. As far as I got it, he has been brought up wealthy, but his parents didn't really care for him, so he basically just became a jerk. And wealthy and nurturing, like you don't... What does wealthy mean exactly? Like super rich or like normal? So you can get a normal life? Because poor, you can't... Poor means, for me, you can't exactly afford the stuff you need. So let's go poor but nurturing here. I think that will generate an interesting character. According to extensive studies of the gene and ancient records, social advantage is generally sufficient to offset genetic disadvantage. Genetic advantage will only sometimes offset social disadvantage. True that, kind of. Yeah, so social advantage, like, is really important in our world now. At least I think so, but it's not everything. It's not everything. I guess it also depends where you live. In other words, your character's background will have a radical effect on how they think about themselves and the nature of the problems they face in life. Are you sure you want your character to have that kind of background? So... I'm quite certain. Yeah, let's just go for it. Great, now imagine your character has reached adulthood. 87.2327% of Bildungsroman records commence with an emotional blow for the protagonist. What will your character suffer? Oh, I mean, yeah, it's true, but like if you would imagine a real person, I don't want them to suffer. But for an interesting story, it's necessary, I guess. Death in the family, a personal injury, unplanned death, unplanned pregnancy. My protagonist goes by unharmed. Well, I always like to pick like what the least people do. The least amount of people do. But goes unharmed? What kind of story is it then? A slice of life or something? Maybe? But see, like all of this can get really, really bad because I picked my character of a poor upbringing. So unharmed? Let's just pick what the least people would do. Thank you. This is sounding dramatic already. Really? A character is like an equation. Settle on the opening premise and the conclusion will work itself out. Displaying opening premises. Non-specific sex, gifted in esoteric ways, low wealth background, caring family, uninteresting. Yeah, uninteresting. So that should lead to the most uninteresting story then? I hope not. Story premise done. So you'll just write the whole thing for me? Is that what this is about? To begin my life with the beginning of my life. I was born at 3 a.m. on a Wednesday. Physically deprived childhood. My father, as he is always careful to point out, is only able to report the midwife's account, seeing how he was pulling a long shift at the nearby textiles mill to pay for a second-hand cut. Esoteric sex. My childhood was, in retrospect, a difficult period. I found that although my fellows all had a wide variety of different physical appearances and appendages, with varying levels of function, they nonetheless identified a resemblance and bond between themselves, which was, to my eyes, all but invisible. My parents, aware of my particular situation, had the good foresight to provide me a name ambiguous in matters of sex, and I have continued in that vein ever since. Well, that part should be interesting. My story became worthy of note as I approached the age of 18. Your character faced no overwhelming obstacle in their life. Although it is customary for these tales to begin with some great calamity befalling the protagonist, my experience is unique for sparing me any such thing. Perhaps my more cynical readers will switch off now, but they shan't be missed. For not every story needs complication and drama. A life well lived ought be every bit as special. It does, however, make the story rather short. I lived happily ever after. The end. Would you like to publish your draft on the billboard for review? Well, this is rather short, but yeah, it had a point that, like, a story, not every story needs complication and drama. And sometimes drama is even made up and artificially created, which I'm not really a fan of. And sometimes drama is just like, oh, there was a tiny little bit of evidence or something, and someone just blows this thing up to a huge extent, and then everybody is after that person, and I don't like that too. So a calm life, you should count yourself lucky if you get a life like this. Continue. Let's try to publish this. Remember to check the relevant billboard thread in the future to see how your story was received by other users. Okay. Thanks. Congratulations! For sharing your first creative work in Gehenna, your profile status has increased from 7 creative to 8 master. Cool! We finally can get access to this thread here. Mod discussion. Urgent topics. Come on, come on. Yes, we can finally read it. So what are you discussing here? A number of topics to address with some urgency. Orc? Spider has been exploiting the gallery code again to contact other citizens. We've closed the loophole, but he managed to get a number of posts onto the billboard before we could shut it down. Unfortunately, they were heavily upvoted, so the view counts were high. What can we do if they insist on supporting him? We can't ban the entire community. Oh, admin is here! He's level 10. You know that I hate to interfere, but I think you might find this library resource insightful. So that's the private thing. Private room where they're talking. So, yes, apparently someone exploited a gallery code. I don't really know what that is, but again to contact other citizens. So why would that matter if it's only for contact? But then, like, number of posts made it on the billboard before we could shut it down. So was this harmful or not? I'm not quite sure what's going on here. So load file. Detecting and directing citizen voting patterns. Clavery Press 2009 Chapter 7. Applying the indices to form predictions. As we have seen already, voters can be reframed. I don't know, this white blob here. As we have seen already, voters can be reframed and understood as consumers of political product, where that product is made up from the ideals and policies embodied by your candidate. In this chapter, we will look at how broad data about your citizens can be applied to whatever. Although individual people sometimes confound statistical models over a large enough sample size, we can be uncannily accurate. We can look at the general inputs, your citizens' educations, wealth, religious beliefs, etc., calculate what outcome will satisfy the most, and then adapt policy. Politics is no different to any other commercial machine. In later chapters, we will explore how these techniques can be used to directly affect voting patterns by subtle alteration of the ways that questions are asked. That goes into psychology here. Because, like, if you, for example, know that you will be addressing citizens who have a higher educational background, you will need to address them respectively, whereas you would address citizens of lower educational background a little bit different, so that everybody, so you can reach everybody. But this comes close to, well, no, in fact it is manipulation, because it always depends on how you address someone. If it's a group of people, if it's one individual, the way you address and talk to them, like, it's really important and can change. You can actually actively manipulate them into thinking something else. Like, if they had a strong opinion about topic XY, with careful manipulation, you can get them to change their opinion, even into the opposite direction. This can be used for good, but also for bad things. So I would, like, use this carefully if I were you. And we have some more stuff. Straighten fragment. Number 13. Galatea. I've been digging through the files that Garrett unearthed in his latest escape attempt. Here's an interesting bit of text that I found by Alexandra Drannon's favorite philosopher, Straton of Stagirra. Oh, we get back to that again. Please let me read it. But please, it's still there, that white blob. It is neither necessary nor logical to denounce all virtues merely because one is confronted with the inevitability of one's own death. Beauty does not cease to exist because one is no longer beautiful. Lovers may die, but love itself cannot. The laws of the cosmos are not altered by the passing of generations. Knowledge might be lost, but not truth. When Euxodus of Cnidus perished, the plants did not fall from the sky, nor did lovers cease to work when Achilles breathed his last. If then we are truly dedicated to those virtues and not to our self-important ego, we can take comfort in knowing that all that we struggled for endures. Quite true, quite true. Love never perishes, and just because the inventor of something died, that doesn't mean the invention doesn't work anymore. But thank you so much for posting this. Can you send me a copy of those files? Of course, I'll do so right away. I find it hard to maintain entirely so detached a point of view, though I think the sentiment is excellent. Here's Spider. He has a status of 9. Stratton is certainly an inspiration. He always makes me question myself and my point of view, which I believe is profoundly necessary. I realize I'm bumping a very old thread here, but I felt this quotation was relevant to our situation. Hope it helps. I think it's helped me. Frankenstein. Yeah, this is quite true. This is quite true. I wanted actually to remark that, but I wanted to read through it, through everything at once. So, Spider is here, but yeah, that's what I wanted to tell those citizens of Gehenna. It's not gonna perish. Even though a whole world may perish, you still got the knowledge. If you can make it out somehow, you can store that knowledge in the form of books in your head and other means, and then just teach others. A small apology. As a critic, I always believed that being as ruthless as possible was the only way to improve art. I thought clear criticism, what unencumbered by politeness, was the best thing I could contribute to our society. After all, without that, how can artists grow? Criticism that minces its words is a waste of space, and I still think that's true. But as we approach the end, or transformation, of Gehenna, I wonder if I haven't been entirely too unkind. Have I revolted too much in my role as critic? Have I been sarcastic and crude when I thought I was witty? Was my defense of proper grammar ultimately just an attempt to improve a sense of order on a world I couldn't control? Maybe. I don't know. But I do know I appreciated every work of art that I encountered. I didn't like all of them, that's true, but please understand that without them I would have gone mad. Talking about your work, assessing its strengths and weaknesses, gave me something to hold on to. It gave me a purpose, a function in Gehenna. Every new story was like a little bit of salvation. For that I am more grateful than you will ever know. And I apologize if I ever caused any of you to feel less motivated to keep creating. Oh wow. Thanks for those words, Frankenstein. But yeah, that's why I like constructive criticism the most. Because if someone just comes up and tells you, oh, well, I don't like your stuff, just get lost to wherever, then that's not helpful. But if a person says, oh yeah, I don't like your stuff because I don't like your art style, or because you need to work on the proportions of the human body in your drawings, or something like this, then you have a criticism that you actually can work with. But all other criticism, no, I don't like that much. It's valid criticism if you just say I don't like your stuff, but it doesn't help the creator. That's what I wanted to say. So Meg, what do you have to say? I will never forget your devastating deconstruction of episode 24. But I do think it helped me in the long run to be a better writer. So yeah, Frankenstein actually gave constructive criticism. But a little bit of politeness should be included, I guess, in some way or another. You can still tear his manuscript to shreds, to pick apart everything, but please state that you're doing it to help the author grow or something like that. Your feedback for each issue of Incredible Stories was greatly appreciated. Hey, the mean reviews were the best. So, 6 out of 10? Oh, 401. Hi there. So, yeah, apparently Frankenstein thought that he wasn't polite at all, but apparently everybody appreciated his criticism. So, he was a great critic then. Let's see if we got something here. Oh, stories easy to read. Yep. Good to see you joining in, Uriel. What a read. I'm not convinced this narrative is extensive enough to truly qualify as a Bildungsroman. 4 out of 10. Yeah, I know, because it doesn't teach you anything. But I try nonetheless. And I made my statement with it. I don't exactly care if it's a Bildungsroman or not. But yeah, I made my statement there. That everything is worth living. Even if it's like a normal life with like nothing much happening. It's still a valid life, and it's still worth talking about that. Oh, there we have another puzzle. So we solved 2 puzzle rooms. There's still 2 to come. We also saw 2 stars around. So I'm looking forward to solving the last 2 puzzle rooms and then get all the stars. I hope it won't be as frustrating as my last star episode, because I was recording for like 1.5 hours there for I don't know. So yeah, that happened. But I still managed to get all of the stars in World 2, and I will make sure, I will make that sure that I'm getting all the stars in this game. I won't let any stars slip out of my hands. Nope, I don't want to do that. So please look forward to the continuation of World 3. And thanks everybody so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay true to yourselves. Was